Right, so we have Racing Circuits jumper harness to the PRA EP3 ECU, also Racing Circuits immobiliser bypass unit. That's all wired in. You only really had to strip a couple of wires out of the jazz loom and join them into plugs that comes with the wiring kit, and self-explanatory instructions for the immobiliser as well. The rest of it just plugs in. So that's the ECU there. Obviously we'll tuck it all away, but this is just to get the car running. Then you've got, also coming off that, you've got your lambda wires which come off the jumper harness, so you need to plug them in. I haven't got this one in yet because I haven't got the lambda probe there yet, and I think that's an OBD2 port just to do diagnostics if you need. But that's that, so that's all done. And we'll go into the car. And what I've had to do is decided the easiest way to do it was the Jazz battery terminal, this one here, the wire that goes to fuse box. It comes off the starter motor. So Johnny measured up the EP3 charge loom and decided that we didn't need part of it and we could run it a different way. So we've run the Jazz starter motor wire to the battery and then back to the fuse box. It all looks standard, just in its normal wiring clips all the way along the back, so that looks normal. And then the EP3 one comes up and goes around into the fuse box over yonder. So then we had a slight problem that the car wouldn't idle, and basically we blocked off, I blocked off the idle control valve on the EP3 throttle body because there was nowhere for it to go in the manifold, the hole. There's the blanking plug. Of course the car wouldn't tick over or do anything at all, so you probably need a K-Pro to knock off your idle and then knock your timing up to make it idle itself. So Johnny decided, well, why don't we just drill a hole through the spacer. So Johnny's taken the spacer off and machined a hole in the spacer now, so the air,
after welding it up.
Yeah, after welding the back of it up, because obviously there's a hole right way through. So on your normal EP3 manifold, which we probably should have used, but whatever, the air would pass through the throttle body and pass into your inlet manifold. That would give you your idle. This didn't have that, so machined into that ring there, so the air can pass through and go through to hopefully give us a reasonable idle. As long as it idles, it doesn't really matter, as long as it ticks over. And that's that. So battery's now on, all the wiring's done. Yeah, cool. And let's get the throttle body on and see if it'll work. Should do, shouldn't it? Oh, I have faith, eh? Here's the best budget fire extinguisher on the planet, just in case everything went wrong, because I'd put a lot of faith in this fire extinguisher because it says flame fighter. Yeah, just in case. Cool, isn't it?
Warming up.
I can hear an air leak there, can you?
I was sucking through here though.
Oh yeah. Sounds like it's on 4 though, doesn't it?
Seems lumpy as fuck. It seems like it's too rich. I don't know if that's just because the lambda's not in yet.
Yeah, it's
I
possible.
wouldn't have thought it would be because it's not on lambda when it starts.
Should be on cold start, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so after we got it running, the next task was to get it to have gears. So these are CRZ Gear Z cables. What's that? It's not even a word. CRZ gear cables. Now what you find is that this bush here in the CRZ cable is the wrong size to fit onto the peg there of your selector fork dealie. But what you can do is you can swap the rubber bush from your Jazz cable into your CRZ cable. I've already swapped the bigger one over, hence it's missing.
See if I can take my fingers off of this.
So if this doesn't work, it's probably because we've been to A&E because Johnny's lost half a hand.
Maybe. Might need a socket and a vise for this. Oh no, it's gone.
Got it. Yeah.
That's it now.
And then of course you have to get that one out of there,
that fits on there.
Fits perfect on there.
This one's going to be this.
That one definitely. But see, that's got a plastic in it, is it? That's going new, brother.
Come on.
Definitely made easier by the temperature today being 400 degrees, isn't it?
Just a bit.
course you go. There you go. Ah, bye-bye. Right, so if you compare them, yes, that's
sloppy.
Sloppy's no good.
That's nice and tight.
Bang on. So if you do change this, you can obviously get upgraded bearings for the end of your cables. I think Tega will sell them. I've got them on my EP3 actually, so you can swap them straight onto them, and there you go. So we now have CRZ Gear Z. Gear Z? Why do I keep saying Gear Z cable? It's not even a word. CRZ gear cables fitted to the Jazz. There's lots of Zs going around today, isn't there? And there is the CRZ Gear Z. Shit, give up. So yeah, so now we should have all the gears. Not just some of them, we should have them all. So we've got side to side. Oh no, the cable's popped off. Oops. Yeah, it's because I haven't got a split pin on it. But yeah, so we've got side to side. You can hear it clicking. Seems to suggest it's got stuff. Not sure it's got reverse, mind. That should be reverse. Oh yeah, that's probably right, sir. So we need a split pin to go through there, split pins to go on the end of the cables, and a clip to go on the cable, and then they'll all be tight. But yeah, it seems to got the gears. Wicked. So there you go, CRZ gear cables. I said that one slowly. All the clips are in. I'll go on, you've got like an old nail or something.
Pinning them.
Yeah.
Do you not have the original ones?
I'll have a look. It'll be in that box. Need 3. I'll see if I've got them. And that's it, done. Right, so we do have the CRZ gear shifter fitted. The cables are all fitted. Everything's done. It's all good, but it's not all good because when you go forwards, the pivot on the gear selector pulls the cable backwards, which is incorrect. It wants to go forwards. So if you want to hit reverse, it's there. It's not back here. So of course that there is second, not first. So you need the cable to pivot from the top of here instead of the bottom, which is great. Fantastic. There's probably another shifter box you can get, but it probably wouldn't fit like in there normally to do this, which is obviously why people use the K20 style shifter things, because that probably has setups that make it work. But if you want to keep your car looking factory, which because I'm weird to do, yeah, pain in the ass. It'll be alright. So the new plan is to we've cut through where the cable end goes on there, and this here is going to mount on there like that, which is going to give it an angle, because the cable's going to attach to here now on a little ball, because it's going to be pivoted from the top instead of the bottom. That's the plan to get by all this. There's probably another shifter box you could buy to do this, but there's Chinesium to cut up, so he's also not called Jonathan Modify Mitchelson for a reason. Actually, no, it's wrong. You would be, yeah, anyway.
Got the original JDM.
The original JDM. Yeah, so modified CRZ gears. No, I'm not going to put the Z on the end anymore. Gear shifter with I got this Raj cable from eBay. It was $11.99 and it came with a bracket. It was like a K20 style copy thing from China, made with Chinesium. So Johnny's modified that, so you can see that it's got an angle now. It's not straight. That angle there is going to send the cable upwards towards the shifter, because the pivot, instead of being on the bottom, which is the ball in my hand, is now going to end up being on there. That's the plan. Let's go and put it in the car and we can work out where it needs to be in the cable. That looks smart, that, considering it was that's the best 11 quid's worth of metal ever. It's worth it for the metal alone, isn't it? And the bolts. Jesus. Cables are useless, but never mind. Right, so modified the pivot point. So the pivot point is now on the actual shaft of the gear stick. So we now get all the gears and they're all going the right way as well. That'll be reversed. Yep, reverse. Cool, so that's all done. This obviously isn't bolted in properly, but whatever. Next thing we found is that this cable here, which operates the, well, side to side basically, is slightly too long. for the gearbox end. So what we need to do is we need to modify the bracket on the gearbox as well. But basically, that's not that hard. So we're going to do something very similar to what we've done here. But that there is now correct. So that gets all gears. Everything works fine. And with a bit of luck, the centre console should go back over. I'm just going to rest it on for now, see if it does. Obviously, I need to bolt all that down, but I won't do that now. And I've run all the new lambda cables as well. So everything's plugged in. Everything, it actually starts and runs. It now technically sort of has gears. So yeah, it's always a bit of a positive in it. It's a step forward again. So yeah, probably the next time we'll come back and do the radiator and look into all them sort of bits. But yeah, that does actually have gears now, so I'm happy enough with that. Obviously the cable's loose in the gearbox, that's why it's a bit funny. But yeah, it does work. And there's a pin missing, little thing missing off there, but cool. Anyway, till next time, that's gear linkage, gears, whatever you want to call it, and it runs, because there's all the stuff there that's still neat and tidy. Wicked.